Okay, I see you. It seems to be okay now. So yeah, let me just get back to the. Okay, okay. Sorry about that, everyone. Hopefully the internet troubles have been fixed. So yeah, with that, we'll just get into the cast.
Who's
So
going to be our first match?
yeah, the first match will be our. I think it's Arcanewinds.
Okay.
Yeah, versus Bojack, and the map will be. Is it Stark Origin, right?
Dark Origin, yeah. That is correct. I do know Arcanewinds pretty well. I've actually played with him a fair amount. Not against him so much, but I've kind of like watched him play and stuff, and he's a super nice, super cool guy. But I don't really know much about Bojack at all. I've seen his name a few times, but I've never actually watched him play.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. I have seen Bojack play, but not Arcane Winds play. I think I casted him in the last cast I did. So
Okay, well, perfect. From what I've seen of Arcane, he does like to play relatively standard. So I expect, just a typical like standard Forge expand or Gateway expand. I think he usually plays Forge because before when I was playing with him, I was trying to teach him a little bit of Gateway expand. So I think we're gonna see a Forge expand. I think that's more his comfort zone.
yeah, we do see Pylon going down already. At
Yeah.
the
That being said, when you Forge expand, you usually scout off of the pylon, so it may actually be a Gateway expand then.
yeah, we'll have to see
Um,
yeah, what Arcane Winds goes for. Bojack is scouting across the map. Looks like it is a 9 pool coming out of Bojack.
mhm.
Super standard stuff right now.
It is gonna be Gateway. So, Overpull is better against the Gateway expand. I think Overpull started becoming more popular because of the Gateway expand. So I was correct. The reason you want to scout off of the Forge when you do, or off the pylon when you do Forge expand, is you want to see the pull timing. So you want to see if you can do if you can skip cannon or if you need to get cannons or not before your Nexus or gateways or anything like that. Plus, if they take like a greedy 12 hatchery, then you have the option to do cannon rushing if you want to. Oh, what's up, Nomad?
Yeah, looks like Arcane Winds getting into the base of Bojack. He sees everything. I was quite surprised that he didn't try to deny the natural for a little bit, because I see a lot of Protoss that sometimes they like to dance around their probe in the natural of the Zerg, delay that hatchery,
Mhm.
or force like a third location to be taken as a natural.
Yeah, the only reason he wouldn't do that is it's kind of a comfort thing. Like if you're not super comfortable with timings and stuff, and I know Arcane's somewhere around like 1700 to 1800, like somewhere around in there. So if you're not super comfortable with the timings and stuff, you see that the hatchery hasn't come down yet, then you kind of want to see the spawning pool and like lean timing. So I think that's really what it was more about. That being said, you usually don't see a move out with the first zealot against an overpool because you can't really get a lot of work done. But if he does manage to tuck behind minerals, it can be good. That being said, the natural in this space on this map really isn't that good for tucking. But you're not going to be able to get up the ramp. But he is going to get to this third, which is being taken really early, and there is a spot where you can get the zealot here.
Yeah, I just wanted to also mention that we did see that probe get taken out really early by
Mm-hmm.
those Zerglings, so that's not good for the Protoss. You really need to be on top of what the Zerg is doing. Hold that thought. Looks like that Zealot is coming in. Let's see what damage he can do. The Zergling's getting a perfect surround
Nice
on that
surround.
Zealot.
Yeah, when you already see four lings, your one zealot usually isn't going to be able to do much damage anyway, but that was like absolutely perfect for Bojack. Being able to kill a zealot, I mean, taking a single swipe, really, really painful for the gateway opener because we're going to have a really late Nexus. We even went cannon before Nexus and core before Nexus, so this is a really low eco build from Arcane.
Yeah, Azhi,
We have a
since
quick lair coming in for Bojack here.
yeah, since you are a Protoss player, what do you think about this like Cyber Core before Nexus and the Cybernex Core placement? Like I've seen it before the Cyber Core placement, but any thoughts?
Yeah, you'll see the Cybercore placement usually when they want to kind of delay Forge, and it's extra greedy, but we made the Forge in the main and then the Cybercore in the wall before Nexus. I actually don't like anything about this. We basically have an exposed core, it does protect your upgrades, I guess, is like one thought process behind it, but the Nexus is really, really late. So if we're going to be playing Eco, I just don't like the core before Nexus at all. I mean, obviously it does mean we're going to get a faster Stargate, but the lair was pretty quick too, so even if we get Corsair, I don't think we'll get too many Overlords before Scourge would come out.
Yeah, and yeah, Bojack seeing all the tech. He's seeing the Stargate coming up in Arcanewinds base. Gonna retreat that Overlord, maybe try to save it before the Corsair can come out and take it out. So, you know, a question for you, Azhi. We saw that probe getting taken out so early. Oh, and we see Spire going down for Bojack. So this basically limits the Protoss's scouting, right? Since the Zerg basically has control, soft control of the map with the Zerglings. So the only way the Protoss can kind of confirm what the Zerg is going for is when the Corsair comes out. Is that right?
There's two ways you can confirm. So one of the advantages of Gateway expanding is that you're typically building up a Zealot count relatively early. And there's two breakpoints really for Protoss to be able to push out. There's 3 Zealots where you can kind of push out against the Lings, and then there's 5 Zealots. When you're at 5 Zealots, you can usually push out, and one thing you would like to do as Protoss is you move out with your Zealots to push the Lings back, and then you can sneak a probe out onto the map to try and like sneak a scout around. Even if you just see like drone counts and things like that, you can get like a general idea of the game state and what the Zerg could be doing. You don't have to wait for the Corsair, because one of the issues quite often for Protoss is if you wait for Corsair and you have no confirmation of what's going on, your Sair will come out as like a Hydra timing will come, and you're just dead because you're not prepared. So there is a lot of incentive to get on the map sooner to identify what's happening before Corsair.
Right, and we can see Arcanewinds. He is in the Zerg base now. He sees like the Spire. He will see the 5 hatchery. So this is super standard, right? Like seeing a 5 hatchery, like Spire, and then into Hydralisk Den, right? Super standard.
Yeah, the Scourge are purely for denying Corsair, so that's all that'll be for. Corsair production is not going to continue. It does give Bojack the option of, if we pick off a Corsair and we realize no more Corsair are being made, you can make like 6-7 Muta for Templar sniping and then go into Mass Hydra behind that.
Oh, takes one Corsair. One Scourge hit on that Corsair. Oh, he's playing with fire. Okay, he's gonna be able to save the Corsair. But yeah, if you lose that first Corsair so early on, that's a huge pickoff for Bojack. But fortunately, Arcanewinds being able to save that Corsair, albeit with a little bit of a hull damage.
I will say for Arcane, it doesn't feel too good right now. We did do a pretty low eco, like the late Nexus against the like triplet spam, like low army mass drone thing. Like the worker count doesn't look too good for Protoss right now. You usually want to be up a little bit more earlier than that. He only just recently started pulling ahead, but the Hydra production's already started, so this is going to be pretty, like, relatively early Hydra harassment. We just lost the Scourge in the main as well.
Yeah,
the Gateway Explosion's going to be late, like Nomad points out.
Yeah, losing that one Corsair is definitely huge. You know what? I have been told by some other Zerg players that in this matchup, the Corsairs kind of are like tanks in Terran versus Protoss. Like, you don't want to lose those Corsairs, because if you lose them, Zerg can just go meet a Scourge, right?
Yep. And the other reason it hurts so much is because when you're making Corsair, that means you're making less Templar. So there's a balancing act in this matchup where you have to keep your Corsair alive, and you don't want to keep remaking Corsair, because then you have less Templar for the Hydra. And it can just very quickly get just out of control of your not enough Corsair, so your Templar down a Muta, or too many Corsair and you have no Templar for the Hydra.
Yeah. At least Arcanewinds gets a good scout off again with this one Corsair, but he took a ton of damage on that Corsair from those Hydralisk on the ground. Looks like Bojack is just content to drone up a bit, build up his economy. Another hatchery going down, so that's 6 hatcheries down for him now. Arcanewinds.
I feel like this game's going pretty good for Bojack so far. If I were to give like one tip or maybe one small criticism, is that we kind of saw with the Scourge the Gateway Explosion was very, very late, and we have these Lings in the front to kind of monitor like any move outs. He did this kind of set of safety Hydras and then back into droning. I know it can be a little bit scary to have not a whole lot of army, but you just got to count on the information you're getting from scouting. He could he would have been able to identify that there's no push coming anytime like super soon, so you can get your drone explosion first and then focus purely on army. It's a small thing, but it can make a big difference for your macro later on.
Yeah, for sure. Like Zerg is all about the balance of, you know, making drones. Like, can we cut army to make drones, right? And the faster you get that huge drone explosion up, the stronger you're gonna be, right, as the time goes on. But 44 drones, not too bad at all at this time. Looks like Bojack is going into army. Looks like a drone is going to try to expand, so he's trying to take his fourth. It might be. Do you think it's going to be the close space or the top right?
Oh, sorry for the Zerg fourth.
Yeah.
I think I would imagine we want. No, man. I'd imagine we want this closer fourth base here.
Right, and maybe the bottom left would actually be a better choice. But anyway, we see a huge amount of Hydralisks coming across the map. I think this is probably going to be some kind of like soft contain, right? Maybe try to chip away the gateway. But four Templars already out.
Yeah, with Lurkers finishing, I think we're just going to turn this into a Lurker contain, which I've seen is very, very strong in this map. I mean, being contained across those bridges is absolutely horrible to deal with, and even trying to move uphill on this ramp at your third. I've quite often seen Protoss starved out, even on 3 base on this map.
Look at Arcanewinds. He is going... How many gateways is that? Is that 9 gateways? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 gateways, including the one in the natural. So this kind of feels a little bit all-in-ish. Is that a correct assessment? I mean, I guess you could just like build a map and... build a huge army and then bully your way up on the map to take a third. But this is, you know, quite a few gateways. I was led to believe...
It's more than normal. Yeah, so the typical would be 8 gateways, right?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I actually don't mind making extra gateways if you are not like that on top of your rotations, right? Your cycles for your building. It's something I actually quite often try to teach people is when you're kind of a lower level like that, it's totally fine to add in the extra gateways or the extra production facilities until you get a little bit faster and a little better at hitting your cycles. So I think that's what this is. This is more of a compensation for like once the fighting starts, Protoss does tend to float because you're so like focused on getting like proper storms and like stuff like that, so that having the extra gateways can actually be really good. Hey, what's up, gang?
Hey, we see a shuttle with 1 Templar, 3 Zealots moving down the left-hand side of the map. This is obviously... I think it's going to be a storm drop, and I think that Corsair is providing a little bit of vision at the natural of the Zerg. So let's see what kind of damage you can get done. Meanwhile, at the Protoss main, it's exactly as you said. Look at that Lurker field in front of the Protoss main. That's going to be hard for the Protoss to bust out. And here we go. Take a look at the Zerg natural. Oh, he's got a drop. He's just idling the... Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a push forward and he lost, it looked like at least 1 Templar, but bringing out all the drones on this natural is really, really good. Reducing the Zerg down to 35 drones, 34 drones here. So really, really successful drop. You usually don't see only a single high Templar, but he just did double storm and then the 3 Zealots to clean up, and it actually worked out pretty well here. But here is the nightmare for Protoss, is trying to break out of these tiny little chokes against Lurker contains before you starve.
Yeah, I think that before that Cybernetics core went down, I did see Arcanewinds researching Dragoon range, so at least he has that. So now Observer is out, but there are so many Overlords. I mean, that Observer could get picked off so easily. And here we go. Arcanewinds trying to make a move. Great storm. So many Hydralisks being roasted. Another great storm. Hydra barbecue right now. Look at all those Hydralisk corps.
Yeah, really, really big storms. The problem is we kind of lost all of our Dragoons in the process, and we don't have a Cyber Core rebuilt yet. So, yeah, just now we're restarting it, and one of our Observers died. The issue is, yeah, we cleared all the Hydra, which is, you know, the Zealots are good against the Hydra, but the Zealots are terrible against the Lurkers. So the Lurkers are going to get pretty good trades here. He is moving out before the reinforcements from Bojack get here, so he might be able to break this position. A little bit of a whiffed storm, unfortunately. So yeah, we are going to clear off this spot, and hopefully we can hold the ramp for the next rotation of units here. There won't be any more Lurkers, so we won't be hurting too much for not having Dragoons right now. We did have a fair amount of storms ready for these extra Hydras, so there's a chance for Arcane to break this position here now. And another big storm clearing out all these Hydras, and then he can secure his third, and the game is very, very playable from there. Bojack did re-drone a fair amount behind this, so there's not going to be a whole lot of army coming up anymore to hold this position. So pretty good all in all for Arcane here to break this position.
Yeah, nicely done. Feels good to break that contain for Protoss for sure. And you see a probe coming out already. He's probably going to try to take that his natural third base. But look at this counterattack with the Zealots on Bojack's fourth.
Yeah, Bojack made like another 15 drones while that was being busted. So he has a very, very healthy drone count, but we don't have enough army right here to defend this base. So if we can take a third behind this while clearing this fourth, it feels absolutely amazing. We are going to target this hatchery, and I think we'll just pull out after this.
Oh, he gets the hatch. Yeah, the Zealots will be cleaned up. I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier about Zerg being a constant balance about can I drone, right? Or versus can I make units, but look at the natural.
Yeah, a few more Zealots sneaking in here, getting a couple more drones. And just kind of creating chaos and interrupting the mining. And while this is happening, it does mean Arcane has no pressure on his side of the map as well, so we're able to drop this third and we kind of rebuild our army and secure this position here. So Arcane kind of coming back from what looked like was going to be an unwinnable position. And actually making this a scrap right now.
Yeah, and while he's distracting Bojack in the main, forcing his Hydralisk back, look at the fourth. The Protoss army about to clean it up, clean up the Zerg fourth. Another huge storm.
Yeah, the storms have been really, really good for Arcane here. And Bojack, under the pressure, is starting to float a ton of money. If this money was spent, this wouldn't be too hard to hold, but there's just a lot of chaos right now being created. And his multitasking is being taxed pretty heavy right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I wanted to also show, like, Arcane is already taking a fourth. Is exactly what you were saying earlier. By it's like attack is the best defense. You know, what, right? It's allowing him to basically double expand. Yeah, looks like Bojack does have enough Hydralisk to clean up this attack at his fourth. But I think the damage has already been done. Arcanewinds definitely, you know, pulling himself back into this game. But that being said though, the supplies are dangerously close, right? And when Zerg supply is close to the Protoss supply, it definitely is not a good sign for the Protoss.
It's usually not, but when it's just Hydra attack and you have these like chokes to defend, as long as we can be in position with this army, it's not that scary right now. That is typically true though, like when Zerg is close at this point in the game in supply, when it's like Hydra supply or Hydra tech, it can be pretty tough, but like I said, as long as we're catching him on the ramp or catching him across the bridges and we can just defend from here, Arcane's in a fantastic spot, but it could be a little bit dicey trying to hold on to both of his bases here. We'll see what Bojack decides to do. He is floating a lot of money still, but now the pressure has kind of been let up, and with some breathing room, we'll see what decisions he makes here.
Yeah, looks like he's just trying to resecure that fourth base. He's moving his Hydralisk across in the middle of the field. I'm not even sure if Bojack is actually aware that Arcanewinds did take that fourth. Okay, well now he must know for sure. He's like sending all his Hydralisk there. But it's exactly as you said, Arcanewinds already in position to defend. One Templar there, ton of cannons and Dragoons.
Yeah, really good storm here to start. We got the extra Templar with 2 more storms coming in behind us as well, so we're going to be able to defend this base. And with this being defended, it's going to be really, really hard, I feel like. Are we defending actually? We have a lot of armies sitting at the bridge and not coming down yet. This is maybe a little closer than it has to be with extra Hydras coming. Okay, now we're sending our army across. I think we're still going to be fine, but it did get a little bit scary there. We'll see what kind of storms we get followed up. We got 2 more storms from this High Templar. Another one sitting on the bridge with enough for 2 more storms. It's actually going to be pretty close here.
Yeah, the
reinforcements, yeah, a little bit slow. We got a bunch of army here at the natural for Arcane still. And we're actually going to be able to break this position. I did not actually expect this to happen. Templar with the storm goes down here, and just more Hydras rallying in.
Yeah, 2-2 Hydralisk, pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, Arcane did something you don't see a whole lot nowadays either, and that's... He went for 2 attack before his first armor. Usually you see armor or attack into armor, just because the armor scales so well against the Zerg.
Right. For Zerg, it's usually like for this Hydralisk style, it's usually attack first or Carapace first.
I think it's always attack first.
Attack first. All right. Wow, look at this huge like lurker field, or lurker pain train running in here.
Yeah, he did bunch really bad for that storm though, so a lot of the lurkers get cleared up. But he is still going to be able to break this position, and this is actually starting to look pretty bad for Arcane. Big rally of probes about to get killed here. Okay, we do actually catch that in time. And yeah, suddenly it's looking really bad for Arcane again. We're about to start out. We're just on one base economy right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like Bojack has so much money still. We have another like 5 Zealot counterattack at Bojack's 4th. Nothing really in place to defend it. But even if Bojack loses this 4th like hatchery, it just feels like he's got so much money. I'm not sure how that happened, but
it's odd, right? It feels like Bojack has been producing non-stop, but his bank keeps going up and never down for whatever reason. It feels like the storms for Arcane have been like huge. He double expanded and was like mounting off at 2 bases, but his army just never quite caught up, and Bojack's bank continues to grow no matter how many units he makes.
yeah, I totally agree. It looked so efficient for the Protoss, but oh no, look at these.
This lurker just killed 20 workers here.
Yeah, and Arcanewinds just taps
gone.
out.
It felt like Arcane was so close to securing this game.
Yeah,
If he just managed to hold that 4th a little bit better, then I feel like he was in a great position. But yeah, just good on Bojack, I guess, jumping on top of that position and managing to break through it and kill him off there.
yeah, it definitely.
Yeah, it was huge.
Definitely came down to that defense of the 4th. You know what I think? I think that he could actually have done it if he had rallied all those units from his natural, like you were saying. He had a lot of army there. If he rallied them all there at once, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he probably would have been.
And that's how it is for Protoss in this matchup. Like, you want a Death Ball, right? You want a Death Ball versus Death Ball because it makes your storms more efficient, and then like your extra units and stuff tanking for your storms and everything. Because he had an extra like 6 Templar or so. Sitting between his natural and on the bridge and a bunch of zealots and everything, so he was just a little bit too split. He did move his dragoons down initially to catch them coming up the ramp with the 2 storms, and I actually thought this was going to be enough, but with the extra zealots he would have held it really, really easily. But it's what it is.
Yeah, good on Bojack. And are you gonna join? The game is hosted.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Alright, so this game will be against Fonger, which is a Terran player, if I believe, and Arcanewinds, another Protoss player.
Perfect.
Well, the same Protoss player, I'm saying from the last game, yeah. Okay, so on the top left, we do have Nom Arcanewinds as our brown Protoss. Bottom right, we have Nom Fonger as our red Terran. So a bit of Nom clan on Nom clan violence,
Right.
as they are, yeah, fighting each other on this map. New Apocalypse.
Dark Origin?
Oh yeah, Dark Origin. I'm sorry, I haven't got a lot of sleep, so
Right.
that's why I got a co-caster.
Exactly. So this map, most Terran players, most Protoss players, we all know, it is very abusive for Terran in the early game. That being said, I feel like if Terran gets through the early game and it's not too much damage is taken, I do actually like this map for Terran because it starts becoming really difficult for Protoss to expand. If Terran never gets the middle, like the control of the middle of the map, then it just feels like the game's doomed. But you're already seeing it a little bit from Arcane. You got the Ford Pylon into the early Scout, so we're going to be getting a Gas Steal and a Ford Gateway and Zealot Rally. This is like pretty standard on this map against Terran.
Yeah, and this like Gas Steal, I feel like this kind of like strategy against Terran, it really like taxes Terran. You know, it's like some Terrans can deal with it, some can't, because you know that a Zealot is oh okay, hold that thought. Arcane or Fonger actually, yeah, he's just like cutting SCVs. He's just gonna build his refinery.
Yeah, you cut an SCV, I think, but Arcane still could have got the gas. His path decision was a little bit off. Our Pro went down from the bottom instead of from the top, so he did have money before Fonger did to make the refinery, but he was just on the wrong side of the gas there. So maybe a little bit of a pathing mistake there from Arcanewinds.
Yeah, and now we see the probe harassing the SCV. Super annoying for Terran anyway, but super good if, for Protoss. So if you're a Protoss player, definitely do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple reasons to do it. You want to obviously you want to tax the Terran and make him like cycle SCVs and stuff, which interrupts mining a little bit. But then also any damage you get on SCVs, especially if you're doing a Zealot rally, does help the Zealots kill the SCVs faster whenever they start getting in on top of the mineral line. I do reach out, Manadog. Can you believe it?
Yeah, with that first Marine coming out, that probe will have to leave Fonger's base soon. But look at the Protoss natural, Arcanewinds. He's playing it like Protoss vs Zerg. He's got a cybernetics core building next to his gateway.
Yeah, we just didn't get there was no extra pylon in the main yet. We were still on just the one pylon, so... Did we cancel the Zealot? I think we canceled a Zealot.
Yeah, I think once Arcanewinds, like, he couldn't get that gas steal down, he just cancelled the Zealot, I think.
Yeah, this is pretty bad for Protoss right now. Honestly. Like, we cut our eco a little bit, so we're gonna have slower Dragoon, and then Terran's start is pretty much unhindered. Like, this is completely normal for him. Going up to 4, are we gonna get a... Okay, we're going a 5th Marine and Vulture. This is kind of interesting. So we're not going tank, but we're continuing Marine production. I wonder what the thought process is here right now for Fonger.
This is like a classic push to defend. Well, to counter if the Protoss went expansion. So you would move out with your Marines and Vulture. But the thing is, Arcanewinds didn't go on Nexus, right? Like, this is basically like an an early Nexus from what Fonger sees. But again,
well,
I mean, he didn't go Nexus, so
Yeah, I mean, the thing would be if you don't go Nexus, you typically see 2-gate, but we're not 2-gate or Nexus. We're getting a shield battery. And Manadog, you mentioned FD, but I thought FD was with a tank, not a Vulture. I've never seen FD with only Vulture Marine before. So we're actually going to turn around here, which is kind of unfortunate for Fonger, because Arcanewinds had a single game, and that's it, because we're on 1-gate before Nexus, and now we're going 3-gate, no Nexus, so this game's just getting really weird really suddenly. And this Dragoon's dead.
This build is like almost like, it kind of seems like a modified FD, right? Where you went Vulture first and then tank, whereas in FD you'd go like 6 Marines tank and then Vulture, right?
Yeah, this is all. I mean, they're both playing weird. This looks odd to me. 3-gate before Nexus and PvT is like. I'm not gonna say it's not a thing, but it's not a thing I personally ever seen.
Yeah,
we are against 1 base aggression, so it might not be the worst thing possible.
Yeah, we see Fonger moving across the map again, and I actually agree with you. I don't know if Arcanewinds actually like knows this, because if he has vision, but his build will actually hard counter to this.
Yeah, I'd like to have seen focus fire on that tank there when he caught him across the bridge. First, Dragoon's going to go down, shaving off some of the Marines, going to make use of this battery energy. We have mines going down. It's a little bit iffy, this SimCity position. That Cyber Core being exposed can be like really, really scary, but since we're on 3-gate, I mean, we don't have observers though, so we're going to have 3-gate into Robo before Nexus. CC is going to be starting here for Fonger now. This is kind of an odd game. Yeah. It is only 3 mines, and we did get to see the placement, so he can do the mine sweeping if he's comfortable with it. That being said, Dragoon just kind of rallies into it. Siege mode finishes, actually, and we're going to get stuck here on the spot.
Yeah, with Siege mode out, this little bit of a wall in the front, it actually, the SimCity works against Arcanewinds, since he has got to funnel out his Dragoons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Arcanewinds definitely against the ropes right now. I feel like with his build though, he should have been able to stop this. Maybe he should have fought at the bridge, you know, instead of just letting the Terran come across. But
yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. He actually had a chance to stifle it on the bridge and pick off that siege tank. And once the tank is dead, you don't have to be afraid of the Marines at all. So he definitely had a chance to prevent it from getting into this position, but Yeah, we didn't kill a tank. We bled off a couple goons, and now we have a lot of goons, but we're afraid to walk forward because there's mines here. Fonger actually pushing very aggressively, not even looking to just contain here. Maybe a little too aggressively. Tank's gonna get picked off. Gonna fall back a little bit. But all that being said, it doesn't matter then. As long as Fonger doesn't take damage somehow, he's in a fantastic position because we have the CC finishing before Nexus is even started for Arcane.
Yeah, and turret already coming down, so the turret will be able to like ward off any kind of observer or even shuttle play, right? So this is becoming pretty hard to contain. The only like silver lining for Arcanewinds is that he actually does have, well, I was gonna say 3 gateways, but only 2 now. Wow, look at that, expanding right while his natural is under pressure from 4 siege tanks. Now
Yeah,
here we go.
He kind of has to.
The 3.
Oh, those mine pools though, actually pretty huge. Well, hang on a second, because now that was cleaned up so efficiently. We have the observer coming out, and we have 1 factory production. Can we actually get across and do some damage to potentially equalize this game a little bit? Because Arcane does have to get some damage done if he wants to get into this game. And yeah, you see Marine production's going to restart. We're going to get a bunker. We're going to start... I imagine we're going to put tanks, I guess, either deep or at least on the high ground.
Yeah, I like Arcanewinds like pushing out right away with his Dragoons. Is he going to move across the map? Well, yeah, he's really smart. Look, he's moving his Zealot across the map to intercept any mines as well. But yeah, absolutely right. Fonger in a little bit of well, he's not in any trouble, but he's definitely in defense mode. You can see like putting up 2 supply depots and the barracks to form a wall. He's really afraid of some kind of all-in counterattack from Arcanewinds. But instead of that,
I mean, he saw that Arcane, he saw the Nexus timing, so he knows as long as he just doesn't die here, he's in a like huge advantage.
right, he is technically right now at an advantage. However, I would say this though, like he's being really defensive, which I understand, right? Because you don't know if the Protoss will, you know, make an attack on you or try to do some kind of all-in. If Arcanewinds actually cuts right now, and like just gets for a 3rd Nexus and makes probes off that, you know, he can actually catch up economically. But instead of that, looks like he is going for that Reaver, shuttle speed, and 2 Zealots. I kind of feel like this isn't really the right play because Fonger is in such a great defensive position right now. He's already got turrets in his main, in his natural, and spread out siege tanks.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Reaver just for like delaying a push because Fonger's next play most likely. I feel like if I were Tan or if I were Protoss, the thing I'd be worried about right now is because the opening was so good for Fonger and bad for me, I'd be worried about a 2-base timing push following up to that. So I kind of like double Reaver for like slowing down a push or picking apart a push, and then triple expanding behind that. Or like double expanding like he's kind of doing. We'll see. He's going to look for damage here with the Reaver, but like you said, there's a big turret ring around the main base, and then in the natural we already have all these siege tanks, so it's going to be kind of hard to find any damage here. Going across the bridge with the Reaver can really slow Terran. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like using the Reaver on these bridges to kind of screw Terran up while we're double expanding, I feel like is essentially the best play. Reaver drop's going to come down, and the Reaver is going to dud and just barely stay alive here. We're going to look to fly into the main, but we're already pretty low, so the shuttle's not going to be able to make it through there. So no damage actually found. Actually going to redrop here and try again. Shuttle goes down, and it's going to be another dud. Pretty good pull there from Fonger, so that's pretty painful for Arcane. We're already really far behind and didn't find any damage, lost a shuttle and a Reaver.
Yeah, definitely good reaction by Fonger. Also a little bit of luck. That first Reaver shot definitely could have killed a lot of SCVs, and it's exactly as you say. Fonger sees that that Reaver is taken out, that shuttle's taken out, and look at that, immediately throws down those factories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be almost impossible for Arcane to survive a push from this position.
Yeah, Arcane is getting his...
making the shuttle.
He's also making more gates, but it's just too little too late, I feel, especially without that Reaver and shuttle. And I wanted to also like talk a little bit about him losing that Reaver and shuttle. I think that it's exactly as you said. If he used it defensively, he actually might have been okay, because look at Fonger. He spent so much, like so many minerals on just turrets and defense, right? It actually slowed down. It would slow down his push, but by losing, you know, that Reaver and shuttle, there's nothing the Terran has to be worried about anymore. He's just going to move across the map.
Yeah, this push is going to be really, really powerful. We only have a handful of Dragoons here and nothing else.
There's more tanks than dragoons.
Yeah. It's gonna take a miracle, and I don't think we're gonna get that miracle.
Okay, if Bisu controls these dragoons right now, do you think he could do it? He could turn the tide.
Absolutely not.
Not even Bisu could do it.
Not even Bisu, but I don't know if Bisu would go second Cybercore in this position either. So there's just a few. Maybe it'd be a little bit different if Bisu was the one driving right now, but yeah, I don't think there's any Protoss on the planet that if you gave them the controls right now, they'd be able to stop this push.
Okay, how about
Arcanewinds is better than Bisu? Yes, absolutely.
How would Snow in control of the Shuttle Reaver right now?
If he had Shuttle Reaver coming across that bridge, I 100% think Snow would have stopped this push.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, things are looking pretty grim though. Terran basically already in the natural of the Protoss. We see a Zealot drop going down, but there's nothing to combo it with, right? And Terran is sieging right in Protoss. This is natural.
Yeah, it's a math problem, not a skill problem at this point.
Yeah, I think the end is near. I like what Arcanewinds is doing at the Terran natural. You know, he has a bit of a small group of goons trying to pick off the reinforcements, but it's too little too late, right? And I think that Protoss will tap out any moment now. We're just waiting for the GG. So yeah, a bit of...
want to do this last Zealot bomb.
Yeah, actually, that was a decent Zealot bomb. You know, he got a couple.
Yeah, I'm sure he got almost 3 tanks out of it, so not too bad. GG.
GG.
Yeah, bit of a rough start there for Arcane. Seemed like he didn't know how to adjust to the situation. It seemed like once the gas steal failed, he wasn't totally sure how to follow up on that.
Yeah, you know, it actually kind of seemed like both players kind of like improvised their builds after, you know, like after that gas steal. But
yeah, I think improving builds is like the name of the game for Fonger.
For Fonger. Well, he won, so I mean, obviously he's doing something right.
Right.
All right, game is up. So this third match will be Arcanewinds versus Kraazy, another Protoss versus Terran.
Look at Arcane being a good kid and doing all of his matches.
Yeah, Arcane definitely a trooper. He played all his matches, I think. I think he was the only player in the group that played all his matches.
I think this week was the first time I played 2 of my matches.
Hey, it's better late than never, right?
Exactly.
Good time to start. So top
I played
left
against Kraazy a couple times, and from my matches with him, he seemed like a pretty standard macro Terran player.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's just how I caught him, or if he does weird stuff sometimes, or what exactly.
Yeah, I've seen like Kraazy play once or twice. He did play macro, like you said, both games, but then again, you know, I've only seen him play like twice, right? So.
Yeah. And Arcane's gonna go for the same thing, which, like I said, it is standard. We'll see if he gets it a little bit more, I don't know, refined, we'll call it, this time around.
Yeah, let's see if Arcanewinds can get that gas steal down. Looks like he is going to. I mean, everything's lining up for him.
I mean, he's going really early this time. You usually would do it off of the gateway. You don't have to go quite so early. So his eco is going to be hurting a little bit, but it will pretty much guarantee we get this unless Kraazy wants to go gas before barracks. I would say this is maybe too early from Arcane, but we just wanted to make sure, I guess, that we don't screw it up this time.
Right, and a little bit of pressure coming down from the probe using that particle beam. Is that? Yeah, it is a particle beam. But look at that micro from Kraazy though, warding away that probe with that SCV.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of thinking, like, Kraazy, from what I remember, is a pretty strong player. I feel like this kind of stuff is pretty comfortable for him.
Yeah, gotta be careful
I think
though.
our SCV is taking a lot of damage now. We gotta be a little bit careful. Yeah, we are gonna have to cancel and pull back. Huh? Huh? Yeah, not quite gonna get the SCV, unfortunately, for Arcane here. It was very, very close with the extra moving shot he could have got it, but moving shot's gonna be a little bit taxing on the AP and macro. So we still did not make the Zealot. This is so odd to me. We're gas stealing with a forward gateway and skipping the Zealot again and doing the forward cyber core again.
Yeah,
Kraazy actually going for an eBay block.
Yeah, this is a little bit surprising to me as well, right? I thought maybe if you skip the Zealot, maybe he wants to get like a quick Nexus or something like that, right? But just going for that Cybernetics core, and yeah, I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, I mean, skipping Nexus if you go forward gateway, gas steals, and then, or skipping Zealot would be like super dangerous too. But yeah, I don't know, it's a little bit of an odd variation from Arcane here. And since we didn't go Zealot, if we wanted the early Nexus, we can't even, because this eBay is going to be here for an eternity now, since it's like 90%, 95% completed.
Yeah.
Alright, so the gas is being taken here from Kraazy. Wouldn't even mind seeing, because there was no Zealot pressure, like getting your CC down in like a forward bunker and stuff is actually pretty easy to do in this situation. It would just be really bad for Arcanes. Part of the reason you don't want to do like skipping the Zealot there, because they can just take their CC and bunker forward like very, very quickly, and you're just behind as Protoss. So we cancel that 5th Zealot, or that 5th Marine there. Kraazy is going to take a CC. We're going to be at 650 minerals when we started, so obviously that could have been optimized a bit better, but still, like I said, like this is just a good position for Kraazy. It feels like Arcanewinds is just, he kind of knows he's supposed to gas steal, but it doesn't seem like he fully understands like the follow-up to the gas steal. That's something we can teach him very, very easily. So it's just going to kind of normalize, except that the CC is going to be pretty far ahead of the Nexus, which as Protoss never feels good. We'll be able to get some goon pressure onto the bunker, but I mean, when your expansion is this far ahead as Terran, it doesn't feel bad at all to spend a few SCVs here repairing. Let's see what the follow-up here is going to be for Arcane. So we're just going to have the goons coming across the map. Range just now finished. And I imagine we're going to start putting pressure on the bunker. It is a little bit hard sometimes to get the angle top down with the goons on the bunker. That's kind of like the worst angle to try to find. It's very, very specific here. Yeah, if you go off to the side a little bit, it does get a little bit easier. So that's what he does here. Just kind of hugs the left side a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to find here. And yeah, most of you guys know this, but it's going to be 1 SCV per Dragoon is what you need for repairs. So that's exactly what Kraazy will do. Actually brings a 4th SCV. You do want to be a little bit careful sometimes bringing the extra SCV, because if you're not paying attention, you're going to fully heal it, and then your workers are going to stop like this. Okay, he just wanted to get it like healthy, I guess, so he feels a little bit more comfortable. Maybe in case the 4th goon shows up, so it's not too low on HP. Maybe what he was thinking. Yeah, just gotta be a little bit careful, because the extra SCV does, like I said, it'll fully repair it, and then you look away for a second, kind of like what's happening here. You gotta be really careful, because when that bunker goes down, if you don't have a tank out, it can suddenly get really, really ugly for you.
Yeah, I've also like seen some Protosses when they accumulate like let's say 5 or 6 Dragoons, they'll actually stop like attacking, and if Terran's not like, because you know exactly what you said, the bunker will heal the full, and they'll attack all at once and just range down your bunker.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good move. Just kind of skill check the Terran every now and then, make sure he's paying attention. Yeah, this bunker's actually going to go down, and this is kind of scary, because this is 5 Dragoons, and this is 1 tank, 1 Marine here.
Yeah, this is definitely Arcanewinds' chance to do some damage.
Which he really, really needs right now, too, because we're down 3 workers, even after killing several here.
Yeah, and he can actually kill these tanks. It only takes 2 volleys for the Dragoons to kill it, because he's got like 5. You only need 4 actually for 2 volleys, and I kind of feel like...
Yeah, it's 8 shots.
Yeah, he should just like step forward, right, to kill the tanks. He definitely could do it, and he does. He kills one tank. Let's see if he can get the second tank. Kraazy is
He's
playing
being
with...
a little too passive. There he goes. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say Kraazy is playing with fire, right? Having that wounded tank up so far front. He's gonna lose all 3 tanks now, and Kraazy against the ropes. Arcanewinds busting that bunker, doing the damage that he needed to get himself back in the game. Ahead in workers now. Random Zealot coming across the map. Third base going down for Arcane.
Yeah, I love the third Nexus coming down during this. And we have the observers on the way. Like, yeah, we're in good shape for Arcane right now. As long as he continues pro production, we are idling our Nexus a little bit because we're so focused on this push. We're maybe not getting quite as much of the lead as we could have right now. Kraazy, on the other hand, continuing his SCV production while under pressure the entire time, so doing a good job with that. With these 2 extra tanks coming out, we are going to be able to push this back, and when the dust settles, we're actually even on workers, which is still technically good for Terran, but we did lose like all of our siege tanks, which is kind of the worst part about this whole situation.
Right, and yeah, it looks like Arcanewinds is gonna... Oh no, he's gonna go back in. He's gonna go back in for round 2. If he can pick off any of these tanks, that would be huge. 1 tank, critically low. Oh, he manages to pull it back. SCV is coming out to body block, but the bunker is not up. No Marines are made anyway, so the bunker is not even gonna do anything.
It's a big bunker here. We did finish Spider Mines. We didn't get Siege mode. We went Spider Mines during this pressure, which is a little bit crazy to me. Arcane is floating 1,500 minerals during this as well. If this money was spent, he would be in a fantastic position. Obviously, still in a good position, continuing to kind of shave off army. The only thing, like I said, that concerns me a little bit is the worker count, but we do have this big bank from Arcane because the trades are going so efficiently for him.
Right, and Arcane does actually have an observer, so he can actually pick off these mines, but he's not utilizing the observer. Trying to micro around those mines does not work. Ironically, if he runs a goon up right now and triggers the mines, he could like blow up the tanks. But
the observer is sitting back a little bit. He's trying to mine sweep while pushing forward instead of just bringing the observer forward, which is a little bit hard with 4 siege tanks here.
Right, yeah, I think he just forgot about those that observer here. But looks like Kraazy, he does have enough to ward this away. Definitely got to be careful though. Okay, this mine, yeah. Yeah, with that mine triggering and killing those Dragoons, I think that this push from Arcanewinds is over. And, you know, he doesn't have to really push the issue though. The damage has been done. He is actually surprisingly even on workers. Actually behind workers, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of what I was mentioning. Even though we killed so many workers, we were stopping our own production in the meantime. I mean, this is part of the kind of the multitasking. We also have probes kind of all over the place. We got 3 idle here at the natural by the gas, 2 behind it. Just found those. We had 4 like sitting between the bases, so we have probes like all over the place while we're trying to control our army. But that's just Starcraft. It's a hard game. It's hard to do everything that you need to do.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Observer going to be able to fly into Kraazy's base, so he's going to be able to see everything. And Arcanewinds should definitely like what he's seeing now. He sees that, you know, Kraazy's only on 2 factories, have to rebuild his barracks, going for Starport. So this most likely will be a longer macro game, right? Because with that delayed, with that barracks being taken out, any kind of timing is basically over already. And after taking so much damage, right, I don't think Kraazy can go for any kind of timing. Oh, he's got to be careful.
You wouldn't typically look for timing after that anyway. After a start like that, I feel like most Terran's thought process would be that they need to try to drag this game out now. That winning this game is going to be a nightmare after that start.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you gotta play split map, right? If you're in Kraazy's like mind right now, the Protoss is so far ahead. He doesn't know it, but like the Protoss could be on like 4 bases, right? I mean, Arcanewinds isn't, but you definitely
You should
gotta.
be, though.
Yeah, definitely
If you're
gotta play
watching
for.
this Arcane, you should be. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying like definitely if you're the Terran player, you'd be thinking of going split map, playing like a longer macro game, trying to get your upgrades and trying to like get good efficient trades with those upgrades and with mech, right? Try to even the damage you've taken at the beginning.
Yeah.
Or to compensate, actually, not to even, but we have 2 zealots on the top right. I thought they were maybe going to work on that stasis cell and prison, but I think it's stacked, so they have a long path ahead of them if they do try to do so.
Yeah, looks like the follow-up from Arcane is just going to be kind of Gateway Man style right now. We're getting a shuttle for Storm Drops here as well, which I do like that a lot, or maybe just for Zealot Bombs, but he did show Storm Drops in his PvZ, and Storm Drops is something I actually need to start using way more often. I get way too lazy when I do this matchup as well. And it's actually pretty good on this map too, because the natural just has like this big open space behind it. It can be really, really efficient.
Yeah, scan going down. Yeah, seeing Arcanewinds third, fully saturated. And Kraazy also he scanned the main, so he sees this huge gate explosion. I'm pretty sure he also saw the Templar archives. So, and I'm pretty sure that he does know that it's basically the mass gateway style shuttle, Templar. Right, it's not going to be any kind of like arbiter play.
Yeah.
I actually think that Kraazy is actually fine. If you look at his supply and you look at his,
he's doing great.
Yeah, if you look at the okay, look at that. Look at the top right. Arcanewinds is trying to break down that stasis cell, but it's stacked, right? You want like a reaver or something to hit it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many are stacked here. So I actually have no idea. So I might be working on that for a little bit here.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, like you were saying, Kraazy is actually in a pretty good position. Like his worker count looks really, really good right now. We're at 68 workers. We're gonna go up to, yeah, 70 here. I mean, so worker-wise, he's actually in really good shape. Pretty far ahead of Arcanewinds even. And yeah, he's just. This is the stage of the game where it can be really hard to start breaking Terran, because trying to break through these bridges and this little choke on the left side, it's just incredibly difficult. So if Kraazy wants, he can power up on 3 bases. And typically the counter to this is if you've got map control as Protoss, you just take several bases, you work towards recalls, carriers, just kind of getting like your late game tech and maybe trying to starve Terran out on 3 base. Because once Terran gets a big army and they control the middle of the map, you kind of lose like the middle bases very, very easily. And then it starts getting really hard to break out to get map control back as Protoss. So we'll kind of see. I'm curious what Arcane's long-term plan is going to be here. Being up only on 4 base after their opener just isn't quite enough. Like, we should at least have bottom left as well, I feel like. Because Kraazy's supply is pretty close to Protoss right now, and Protoss does not have a bank. So it's getting scarier and scarier for Arcane as this game drags on, I feel.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but the rule of thumb is like, if you're Protoss, you at least want to have 2 bases up, mining bases up on Terran, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, Protoss killing his own gateway because 2 Dragoons were stuck there. A little bit unfortunate of a placement. Oh.
Yeah, typically, it's a little bit different on Dark Origin because the map's not super late game friendly for Protoss, I feel like. But typically on like some of the larger maps especially, whenever Terran's taking their 3rd, you kind of want to take your 4th and 5th as Protoss, and you want one of those bases to be a corner base where you can add extra gateways. So being on 4 base versus 3 base and down 12 workers does not feel too good for Protoss right now.
Right. I would actually argue Terran has a little bit too much oversaturated on SCVs, because you don't actually need 75.
Much, yeah, 75 on 3 base is a bit much, and our main's going to be mining out soon.
Right. Stargate is actually going down for Arcanewinds, so maybe he's thinking of switching out to Arbiter tech, I suppose. 5th is going
10
down.
10 minutes later, we are finally through the last prison cell, but it gave Kraazy plenty of time to spot this happening. So we're not going to get anything after all that hard work.
Yeah, like tons of tanks, 4 tanks, Vultures, ton of spider mines. Arcanewinds though, he's peeling off a bit of his army. Is he thinking of making an attack here? It's going to be a really, really inefficient trade though. No observer or anything.
Yeah, I don't know why he wants this position so badly. There's really nothing to gain from fighting up here.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why he tried to like break through. I mean, if Terran doesn't know it, you can go for like a huge backstab into the Terran main, right? But
right.
Kraazy was already aware of it, and Protoss bleeding off a ton of units for little gain, unfortunately. And at least Arcane, he does have what was it, like 4 shuttles in total, or 5 shuttles actually. One of them's empty, but he's not bringing his army together. You know, it kind of seems like it's a little bit. He's got a little bit of army scattered everywhere.
Yeah, it seems like he's not sure, like, what he should do from this position now. And this is a problem for a lot of Protoss players around this level. Is you kind of get to this point where it's like Terran's sitting there and you're just not sure what to do. You know, it's like you can't really attack into him, so you feel like you're just sitting there waiting to die.
Huge
it feels
attack.
like that's kind of what he got into. Yeah, big attack coming down here. Shuttle's getting picked off before getting the Zilla bomb. Decent storm comes down, but this trade is going absolutely horribly for Arcanewinds here.
Yeah, attacking into like this map, it's hard to attack Terran when they are in this position. I mean, the bridges and this like small ramp, it's just so defended. And Kraazy has 2-1 against Arcanewinds. Okay, now he got 2, but when I saw he was attacking, he only had 1-0. So Terran with basically all the advantage. Arcanewinds definitely on the back foot now. He does have that 5th Nexus, but it's not like saturated even, so.
Yeah, we're going up to triple Stargate Arbiter now, but I don't know that we like survive this push from here. Does have enough bank potentially that if he did actually macro really well, he could pull it off. Also, really good storm drop here actually, and killing a bunch of these tanks, so that is actually going to help him quite a bit. So he should be able to stave this attack off, and maybe be able to stabilize a little bit. I'm just worried about like kind of the economy situation. A 4th base is coming down for Kraazy, and I don't think Arcane's going to be able to stop that 4th.
Yeah, picking off these tanks is nice though, right? Resetting the tank count a bit. Oh, actually he's not even gonna get all the tanks. Terran reinforcements coming across the map. Oh, picks off that dropship with 4 vultures. It's a little bit of a nice pickup. But yeah, it looks like Terran, Kraazy, is he thinking of probably sieging the high ground 3 o'clock? I think he is. He's gonna siege the tanks there. Yeah. Clean up the probes.
Well, this is part of the problem with this map. Like once, this is kind of what I was saying earlier, once Terran gets to the center of the map, you just don't have access to this base anymore. This is a dead base, and Terran doesn't really have to push the issue to make it happen.
Yeah, it's also a nightmare. No, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just saying that we do have Arbiters coming out, so it's essentially working towards like a bunch of recalls here, especially with a triple Stargate. I'm just afraid that it's too far, like too late. Yeah, the economical situation not great. We don't have a whole lot of gas built up. We're losing our 4th base, and we're taking a 4th base bottom left now. But with Terran being on 4 base, and us just now trying to like basically secure a 4 base economy is just not good enough.
Yeah, a little bit of a pickup at least for Arcanewinds. He is going to be able to get this cluster of tanks before the reinforcements come. But he's got to be sure to save those Arbiters. Though he's got to run now with the Arbiters. He cannot lose these Arbiters. Oh, he's gonna lose them.
Going down with 100 energy.
Oh, he's gonna lose both of them. Like,
went forward for a stasis, but we don't really have enough army to follow up on that stasis right now.
Yeah,
Arcane's bank slowly disappearing here while Kraazy's continuing to be absolutely huge, adding extra gateways, continuing to pump and stuff.
Yeah, the stasis was definitely good, but there's just not the army behind to, you know, combo it with to clean up the remaining units. So I definitely feel like if Arcanewinds like saved that 1 Arbiter instead of using that stasis, that would have been a little bit better of a decision to make.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that being said, it's kind of almost an impossible situation either way from here. But there is always like that potential, like you get a big recall like on the production or something, you can suddenly take such amazing trades that you can come back from a game that seemed unwinnable.
Right. I'm gonna be honest with you, when I first saw those triple Stargate, I thought that was like for carriers. And if he actually went carriers when the first Stargate came down, it might have actually worked, right? Think about it. He went Arbiter.
Yeah, I think carrier... Is carrier good on this map? I feel like it probably... is it good? Maybe it's good. I don't know that I've seen carriers on this map very often, so it's kind of hard for me to say.
You know, to be honest, thinking about it, I don't think carriers are actually that good on this map. Because there's not a lot of dead space, right? For you to fly around.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like had he gone carriers right away, I mean, obviously I might be wrong, I'm not a Protoss player, it just feels like had he gone carriers right away when he hit the triple Stargate, he might have had a little bit of more utility than with going Arbiters, since like Kraazy, it didn't seem that Kraazy was like, you know, aware of it, right? Kind of?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, and he was nearly maxed out while losing that shuttle as well. Yeah, so you can't even make the Goliaths, right, to counter it.
Yeah. I don't mind the Arbiter play if it was, 3 minutes sooner, right? I think at that point, going Arbiter, it just wasn't fast enough to be good enough anymore.
We do see a counterattack on Kraazy's 4th base, getting a ton of SCVs though. But Kraazy already, he has got another command center in the top right.
Yeah, the economic situation just seems impossible for Arcane. We're about to be down on just one mining base. Natural and third, getting really, really low on minerals.
Yeah, I mean, at least Arcanewinds. He does get that 4th base from Kraazy, but Kraazy has a huge bank, right? Not going to go into recession anytime soon, so definitely has enough in the tank to continue to produce. And look at Kraazy's factory count. It's out of control. Like, how many factories is that? Like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 factories. Wow. He's got more. No, he's got the exact same. I think it's 11 gateways, or no, 12 gateways against 11 factories. Yeah, but anyway, huge push coming down from Kraazy across the bridges. Arcanewinds trying to intercept the army, trying to do something about it, but there's just too much Terran.
Yeah, we're dead. We're just waiting for Arcane to admit it.
Yeah, I think we're witnessing the end of Arcanewinds right now. Great game by Kraazy. He definitely was down against the ropes at the beginning. I thought Arcanewinds was going to actually win at one point. You know, when the bunker went down and his Dragoons got in his natural, but well played by Kraazy to recover from that.
And it's kind of what we were saying earlier too, right? Like, because the beginning went so poorly for Kraazy, it was going to always be kind of a little bit of a long, drawn-out game like this for Kraazy to come back and win. It is a little bit of the nightmare that is TVP sometimes. Something goes a little bit wrong, and then you kind of have to, like, buckle up for a 20 to 30 minute game.
Yeah, for sure.
But did a good job. Like, he defended, he set on the bridges pretty well, he used off, used his chokes, and realized that, like, understood that he didn't need to get aggressive or anything. That his win condition was just hang out, get big, get his upgrades, and then do big pushes later on.
Yeah, and I don't see any. There's like basically no army left for Arcanewinds. He does have 2 arbiters. Well, one of them obviously got. I think they got EMP'd, so he's only going to have one stasis, and I don't know. I don't think it's enough. Basically, at this point, 178 against 117 supply. That's a really tall task. To try to come back with.
Yeah, I'd say impossible. I don't believe in fake caster hype. Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like Arcane has any chance whatsoever.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
I would like to have seen, because we went triple Stargate Arbiter, I'd like to have just seen upgrades for the Arbiters at that point. And it may have been enough DPS to turn it around.
Oh, like Air Weapons 1 or something like that?
Yeah, Air Weapons 1 triple Arbiter. That was the comeback potential. I'm being sarcastic, just in case anybody is concerned.
What's the damage on that? It's like 10 damage for the Arbiter?
It's explosive damage too, so it's terrible. It's like not good against anything.
Okay, game's up. So this will be the last Arcanewinds match, and I think this is against McSmush. And if I recall,
McSmush is playing. He's Terran, right?
He's actually playing race pick this season. So against Protoss, he will play Terran, but against another Terran, he will play Protoss. And against Zerg, I'm not sure. I'm not sure which race he's chosen. So yeah, another Protoss versus Terran. Top left, we have the red Terran player MG McSmush. On the bottom right, we have Arcanewinds.
He's Terran but plays PvT instead of Mirror. Yeah, I understand that.
Actually, I think. Well, actually, hold that thought. Is Arcanewinds? I think he's gonna do the same build, right?
I hope we make a Zealot this time. I'm gonna let you solo cast for a second. I will be right back.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, yeah, looks like Arcanewinds. He's gonna do the same build again. He's gonna try to cap that gas from McSmush. Yeah, let's. I mean, I hope that he goes like a Zealot follow up this time. I feel like that would be a little stronger than just going directly into core and then Nexus as he has been doing. But definitely see what Arcanewinds will follow it up with. And yeah, there's the simulator going down. McSmush building a barracks. Good SimCity for any anti-zealot harassment. Arcanewinds trying to delay the barracks a bit by using that probe, but getting a bit unlucky as the SCV has, like the building SCV basically is not on the right side for the probe to harass. Oh, and look at this, a second SCV coming out from McSmush. I think this might be like a proxy like barracks, I think. It's gotta be, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's gotta be, yeah. Alright, I've been caught off guard by this before as well when I gas steal.
Yeah, and it looks like Arcanewinds, he's doing the exact same build. He's gonna build a, yeah, there we go, cybernetics core again.
Yeah, skipping the zealot.
So,
Oof.
yeah, I think this has a high chance of working then. Right? He's not gonna have Dragoon out for quite a, like, well, he's not gonna have range Dragoons out. That's the big thing, right? Because you want range Dragoons against this kind of double marine pressure.
And you want zealots too. I think we're just dead. Did we lose the probe or did? Oh no, we came back home.
Yeah, he came back.
So there would normally be a red flag going off at this point. The gas hasn't been getting attacked yet. If the probe were there, we would see, like, there's too much money missing right now. So it would be keeping an eye out for the CC. Like, so the probe does come back and we don't see a CC. So there should be a bit of an alarm going off at this point. And we actually even see an additional depot going down. Although I don't know if he sees the bottom one, but this depot would be late anyway. So if he's paying attention, he sees this third depot as well. Or the extra depot. Yeah, third depot, sorry. Barracks is continuing to produce non-stop. Like, there are a lot of signs that this is coming. But I don't know if he's going to be able to identify it. And with the gun going across the map, it seems like he doesn't realize that there is a hidden barracks out.
Yeah, and I feel like, especially if McSmush like pulls SCVs with this, and he has like an SCV in the Protoss main, right? He can definitely drill a ton of SCVs with it. I don't know how the Protoss can hold this. And he's saving up money.
He can.
Right, yeah, and the Protoss...
He's looking for the SCV drill here, it looks like. Yeah, and here it comes.
Yeah, he's coming across the map now, and Arcanewinds is actually going to expand behind us, I'm pretty sure. So Arcanewinds in a critical position right now. He sees it. He sees the Marines coming across the map with that Dragoon.
Yeah. Arcane is not quite realizing that he sees what he needed to see. And unfortunately, he's going to get caught off guard, and there's just no way to hold this. We have 2 Dragoons without range, and we have no 3rd Dragoon even on the way. So I don't see a world in which he can survive this. Our only gateway is forward. It's even possible that we lose the core before we get range, if we wanted to focus the core. Or just even killing the pylon actually would be plenty.
Right,
Not really much focus fire going on. He's got all these Marines chasing these 2 Guns. I mean, Arcane doing a decent job of microing these 2 rangeless Guns, but we are going to get range. But there's no way these 2 Guns can do the work needed to win from here.
Yeah, and a bunker going up in the main behind the mineral line already. It's basically done. So
yeah, we're actually gonna lose one of our Dragoons to the bunker. And that is gonna do it, boys. Unfortunately, our hero Arcane couldn't get a win today. Going 0-4 on the day, but we appreciate the effort he put out.
Yeah, sometimes
I see this and I wanna help him. You know, there's just a few things I see where just some small adjustments and we could probably make some major improvements to his game. I also want to ask him at some point what the theory is behind the gas steel, forward gateway, and then core no zealot. I want to know what he's thinking when he does this.
Yeah, it seemed quite a unique build, right? I personally haven't seen it before against like Protoss or like yeah against Protoss first Terran. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
but you know maybe he has seen it, right? Like maybe it's like a build that I just haven't seen, right? So I don't want to knock it until I know exactly where it's coming from, right? But fortunately, not being able to make that build work.
What's up, Frederico? That kind of game, you like it? Mm-hmm.
So we've got Nom Fonger top left as our red Terran, and the bottom right is our white Zerg Bojack. So I think we've seen both of these players play already, right? But just it was against Arcanewinds.
Yeah, we've seen everybody in the group play against Arcane at this point.
Right, but this time it's a Terran versus Zerg, so completely different matchup. So we'll see how both of these players play.
Yeah, maybe you can give me a little bit of insight to Terran here as well. Not sure if you know, I've been playing Terran this season so far, so I actually TVZ is okay. My issue a lot in this matchup is balancing the early game. I feel like I die to like any early game, any like pressure when I do this matchup. Once I get out of the early game, I feel like super comfortable, but I have a hard time balancing like knowing when I should bunker or how many Marines to make or when to stay on my ramp or when I should try to push and punish out like certain layered timings and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to learn. I mean, every matchup in this game, it's you know, it's ton of information to process and a ton of information to really learn. And I respect you a lot for even going off race, right? In CPL, trying to play another race definitely is hard.
We're gonna get 12 hack from Bojack here against the kind of a normal barrack, so this is good for Terran, or sorry, for Zerg. Not like the biggest advantage, but it is a slight advantage here for Bojack.
Yeah, this is super standard though right now.
Yeah.
Nothing out of the ordinary. Fonger can actually recover a bit of his economy if he goes like 15 command center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's basically even 15 command center against the 12 hatch, and Fonger will get that SCV and he'll see that there's no pool, so technically he should go 15, you know, CC, right? No need to really.
My understanding when you do this matchup, especially on two-player maps, is really easy. So you scout off of 12 or something like that. When you get to the natural, if you don't see a hatchery, you start your additional depot, and then you start making Marines. But if you see the hatchery, then you skip the Marine, you don't make the extra depot, and you start your CC right away. That being said, you saw the hatchery, but we're still doing the depot Marine anyway. Because there's really no advantage to do this, right? Like, you would just always want to go 15 CC here.
Right. Yeah. He does see also in the Zerg natural, he does see the third hatch go down, so he's gonna know it's like 3 hatch play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Command center now going down for Fonger. I wonder if he's gonna go like 5 barracks plus 1, right? That's a really good counter to it's like 3 hatchery mutalist play. But we'll see if Bojack actually chooses to go mutalist first, right? Okay, Zergling's out. They should be able to ward away this SCV if he controls correctly. SCVs have a lot of HP though, so you can definitely keep that SCV alive for a long time. There is one thing I failed to mention though, that I saw earlier. I showed it on the stream, but I didn't really talk about it. Fonger did actually put an SCV block on his ramp, so Bojack could not actually get in and scout Fonger's like main. Yeah, so he couldn't see if it was like a gas timing or like an early refinery for a factory 1-1-1 play. However,
Yeah.
Bojack, he did see the timing of the command center at the natural, so that should also give him a tip off that it's actually not factory, you know what I mean? Because if you go factory first, the command center will be delayed. And we do have the 4 Marine move out by Fonger.
This is actually going to get some damage done, possibly. Like, with some micro, this could actually get some damage. And yeah, already we're having to pull the drones a little bit. We do have 6 lings here. So we should be able to clear this up, but even just interrupting the mining a little bit's not too bad. I don't know how much we hurt for losing these 4 Marines. Is that worth it? Stopping a little bit of mining, killing 4 Lings, and losing 4 Marines here?
Definitely not. Definitely not worth it for Fonger to have lost those 4 Marines.
Yeah.
Jeff, like we're trading out the Zerglings. Okay, if there were 4 drones though, that would definitely, be worth it. But oh, he's gonna get this Overlord? No, no, he's not gonna. It's gonna be able to float away safely. Live to scout another day. So yeah, we have
+1 starting here for Fonger. So usually if I see eBay before Academy, what I've noticed a lot of from Terrans is they're looking for a pretty aggressive, like +1 attack timing that would hit like before or as mutas are coming out.
Yeah, I think that in this scenario, yeah, Fonger is trying to go for that 5 racks +1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like he's definitely doing that. He is going to get that SCV scout out, and if he does get this SCV into Bojack's main, that would be huge actually. Because he'll be able to see this.
A lot of drones here too.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's basically even on workers.
Yeah.
With Fonger, so. Okay, SCV is coming in. He's going to be able to see that Spire. Let's see if Fonger throws down those barracks. Oh, he's making his turrets so early though. You don't need to make turrets this early. The Spire's only halfway done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he saw like the three hatcheries, right? So you know it's going to be like whatever it is, it's going to be delayed, even if it's going to be Hydralisk or Mutalisk. So he could definitely have got his infrastructure, his barracks up a lot earlier, right? By not building these turrets.
Like Bojack making 4 Overlords while he waits. It's like doesn't want to worry about getting supply blocked later. We're making our 4 Overlords now. It's actually going to work out where he's going to have the 9 Larva 900 pretty much around the right time as the Spire finishes.
Yeah, not bad optimization from Bojack. And yeah, we do see the
5 barracks from Fonger.
Yeah, 5 barracks +1. This build is actually super strong against 3 hatchery Mutalisk. So I'd actually definitely give a advantage to Fonger just because of the build order so far.
Mm.
But it will come down to micro, obviously. If Bojack has J-Dong level Mutalisk micro, it doesn't even matter, right? But
yeah, I've seen so many games for Terran fizzle out at this stage of the game when the Zerg micro is really good. They just kind of die to the getting chipped away from the muta. And honestly, like, I haven't played against it a whole lot yet, but even just watching it, I get very frustrated watching Terrans just get picked away at by muta. It looks very unfun to play against.
It's hard to stop, but at the same time, I mean, I respect the Zerg skill. It takes a lot of skill to micro mutas like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in poor latency, it basically, disables this Mutalisk build. Like TR8, it's a nightmare for Zerg.
Right. The only thing I'd say that for Fonger that concerns me a little bit, or could have concerned me, was we just have this single turret for the ramp there, and I know that trying to fight mutas on the ramp can be an absolute nightmare.
Fonger overextending. His 4 medics are trailing behind. He's gonna lose. Is he gonna lose? Yeah, I think taking too much damage. He's gonna lose his entire medic marine group. Huge pickup for Bojack. A little bit of a control error for Fonger, and I definitely agree with you. Like this one turret here gets picked off. The Mutalisk could definitely get on top of those barracks and do a lot of damage. It looks like Bojack coming in. He's gonna try to get us around on that bunker, knock down that bunker. He does get the bunker down. He is going to go for the Marines there. He is going to pick up a lot of SCVs as well. This is a lot of damage done. Fonger against the ropes. Not sure if he can...
The Marine count's been reset, and now we still have like Zerg units trickling in, and just Marines are going to be coming out one at a time right now. Lings will be jumping on top of these turrets and clearing the turrets up, allowing the mutas to get even more free reign. And right now, Bojack just kind of massing Lings right now, not even replacing the muta. Just wanting to go all in with the Lings here at this point to get damage done. Is taking a 3rd base behind us as well, even having an extra macro hatchery in the main. Bojack has shown us he is not afraid to float a lot of money. But I like the additional hatcheries to kind of like compensate for that.
Right, this is a ton of Zerglings though. Even if Fonger can clean this up, the damage has been done. Definitely on the back foot right now. I think the only thing keeping like Fonger in the game is the fact that he actually made 5 barracks. That 5 barrack production is basically keeping him alive, right? So many
Right.
like Marines and medics coming out. Queen's Nest coming up, Hydralisk Den already up. Another round of drones coming out from Bojack, so I'm pretty sure that will actually take him above Fonger's worker count, but we will have to see. And yeah, I can't.
Slightly.
Yeah, slightly. I kind of feel like if Bojack, you know, he's got quite a lot of minerals and gas. If he just made another huge round of Mutalisk and he went in there.
Yeah,
You know,
it's interesting that we just didn't replace any mutas. Like, we lost those initial muta and we just didn't care. I don't see that very often with Zerg. The only thing, Fonger has like no tech behind this, by the way. We have no factory or anything yet. We're just kind of all in on the 5 racks at this point. Are we skipping? Okay, we do have Lurker tech on the way. Now we're remaking some muta. And some extra pre-colonies here. Is this bio actually going to be able to push through? Looks like he might be able to kill the third. He's going to see there's no Sunkens, no units here to defend. We have literally 3 mutas on the map right now. Scan the natural, we see the pre-colonies coming down. What else did we scan? And the main base, we see the hive and the mutas popping here. Bojack actually just going to preemptively abandon this third base.
Yeah, like actually, like, you know, Fonger has a chance to win right here. If he waits for his medic marine to clump up and he's sending a ton of medic marine across the map, he may even be able to break the main if Bojack's Mutalisk control is not on point. And looks like he is going to just try to attack the main. I'm not really sure. I mean, this might work actually. He has so much like infantry right here.
This looks pretty rough for Bojack.
Man, how did this happen?
Just a little bit of I feel like a slip up of macro from Bojack here. We were floating a lot of money and we kept making like massling trying to kind of pressure ending the game there. And also like no upgrades on the muta and stuff coming back to bite us pretty bad here. We did finish Lurker tech, but we had no Hydras to make Lurkers with. And yeah, Fonger's actually going to be able to counter push, break this position, and Bojack's going to GG out.
Wow, that was something. Like I didn't see that coming. I thought for sure Bojack had Fonger on the ropes after all that damage done, but couldn't really, you know, he just couldn't really bring it home. I guess exactly what you were saying. Instead of making maybe more Mutalisk or spending his money a little bit more wisely, he opted for mass Zergling. Which wasn't bad. Like he did actually get a lot of damage done with the Zerglings, but
yeah, it wasn't bad for sure.
Just maybe just not enough. You know what I mean? To bring home the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if we got our Lurker tech and stuff up behind that quick enough, it would have been totally fun.
Right.
I'm gonna have to be right back one more time. Sorry, guys.
Alright, so the top left we have our green Terran player Kraazy, bottom right, blue Zerg Bojack. Yeah, we just saw Bojack play against Fonger and he did a 3 hatchery into Mutalisk style. So let's see if he opts for the same build or if he tries to mix it up a bit. Kraazy definitely spamming his keys right now. 400 APM. Bojack being very conservative with his APM. Only 70 APM, but I'm pretty sure that will rise as there's more things to do later on. 8 racks coming out of Kraazy. Yeah, definitely really popular. Definitely a really popular build these days from Terran against Zerg, especially because you can easily just float it back and complete a wall, right? So any kind of counterplay by Zerg with Zerglings gets countered. But Bojack is going to be able to see this though.
But is it going to be before the hatchery comes down? Because he has shown 12 hatch a couple times now. And yeah, we're going up to 11 drone here. We'll see if the spawning pool comes down, but he has been opening hatch first. So against the Ford racks, kind of ideal for Kraazy here.
Yeah, for sure. It's 8 racks against 12 hatch. Definitely what you want to see as Kraazy. However, with good drone control, you can actually stop it, even if it's like 12 hatch. But yeah, it's obviously a lot harder without Zerglings, right?
So there's kind of like a breaking point, right? So for Terran, was it 3 drones that you need to kill for it to be worth it?
I think it's 2 drones. If you kill 2 drones and you force like a lot of lost mining time, then you can lose 2 Marines, 2 SCVs for 2 drones and like a lot of lost mining time, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Okay, SCV coming down from Kraazy. I like how he's hiding the second SCV though, you know, because if you see 2 SCVs as Zerg in your natural, you know it's going to be 8 racks.
Yeah, he did drone scout and see it coming now though.
Yeah, so he should definitely know what's coming. Bunker should be starting right now. Yeah, bunker is started.
It's not going to be in range of the hatchery though. Which I guess is still fine, like you can still micro back into the bunker. It's just usually I like seeing it in range of the hatchery to put that extra pressure on it.
Yeah, you can definitely leapfrog the bunker as well. But
that's true. True.
Bojack, he's not... he let the bunker finish though, without any contest. I kind of feel like that was
really bad for Bojack.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake. Now Kraazy's just gonna like lay down another bunker where he could, right? I think he should before the creep, like, you know, gets too far.
Yeah, bit of an aggressive bunker there.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the bunker more to the left, right?
Yeah.
He gets one drone.
One drone going down, and we're not mining this entire time. The extra lings are coming out. We try and jump on top of these Marines. Another drone goes down. Getting a decent surround. One Marine goes down. But this forward bunker does finish. We're going to kind of make a run for it. Do get on top of it. SCV gets picked off, so this bunker is going to get cleared up. Marines are actually going to preemptively bail. Barely make it to this bunker over here. So that was 2 drones, decent mining time. Kraazy is floating, 600 minerals again almost before his CC comes down, but it still is pretty good for Kraazy so far, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Bojack can actually kill this bunker right now. There's only 1 Marine in it, and it looks like he is going to kill this bunker. Kraazy, yeah, now completing that wall that I was talking about. A lot of Terrans like to, go 8 racks these days because they can easily just float their barracks back and complete a wall. But there's definitely a chance for Bojack to get something done right now. Kraazy doesn't have another Marine up. And these Zerglings... Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, he's got to bring that Marine behind the wall.
Let me in.
He does get it. So looks like Bojack will actually push the issue. But yeah, you can see that only 1 Zergling can actually attack that SCV at a time.
Yeah.
So with 2 SCVs like healing that 1 SCV, definitely, you can out heal the DPS. That was a little bit dangerous there. I saw him pull the SCVs away. The Zerglings could have streamed in at that point.
Yeah, I feel like he wanted to go mine, but the CC wasn't even done yet. But you kind of want to leave like 2 SCVs here, at least in the meantime anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And you can actually see that Kraazy's up on workers after, after everything that's happened.
Yeah, so, Bojack has hit 2 pretty bad supply blocks here in a row. So it's going to mess our production up a little bit here. We're actually only Hydrate in lair, so we're going to skip Mutant. We're just going to go into Lurker. We're just going to Lurker bust this is the plan.
Yeah, 2 base Lurker play. It might also be for like just like like soft Lurker contained, and you try to tech up the hive and then Defiler rush. But it would be already delayed kind of because of 8 racks. Okay, looks like Kraazy making a move out, picking off one of those Zerglings. He doesn't see speed on the Zerglings, so that's already huge. If you see speed, like you've got to. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was coughing. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. If you do see speed, you got to be careful because it could signal there's like a huge link flood, right? I mean, you can get a lot of like non-speed Zerglings as well, but technically, when like you see non-speed Zerglings, the Zerg hasn't made more Zerglings. But just as I say that, like you see more Zerglings come across the map. I mean, that's so typical. Like I cast
yeah,
like
as
double
I say, scanner about to finish, so he will be able to double scan here and see what's coming his way and be able to prep in time.
Right.
Against, if it is Lurker bust, you usually want like forward bunkers, right? Yeah, there we scan the main, we see the lair and the Hydra den, so he knows at this point that it is going to be Lurkers. Doesn't actually know exactly how much time he has, and these Marines are actually going to get caught trying to get back through the wall. And these Lings are going to get inside, and just the entire Marine count is just completely gone now. So before the Lurkers even get here, we're going to be taking damage. And this is terrible for Kraazy right now.
Yeah, definitely a little unfortunate for Kraazy. He moved his Marine medic out, and just got surrounded by those speed Zerglings.
Yeah, it was maybe just 2 seconds too early. Even the medics popped as the Marines were all dying, so they didn't even get to like do the healing and stuff. He was trying to get that forward bunker down, like I was saying, but it just really good pounce there from Bojack. And yeah, we're canceling a barracks, we're killing Marines as they come out, and behind us we have 5 Lurkers morphing outside of Kraazy's base. And when we're scrambling to like clear these Marines, I see no way for us to hold these Lurkers. Even trying to make more bunkers in the front to hold on. But I mean, these Lings are just like ravaging Kraazy's main base right now.
Yeah, especially with no factory behind it. I'm quite surprised. I did see Kraazy go like 4 barracks, but I'm quite surprised he didn't just go like two barracks factories. Since you know he did scan, he sees this is like 2 base lurker, right? The lurkers are already out, and as you said, there's like 3 Marines split between 2 bunkers. That's actually not enough to stop what will be like 7 lurkers, and he just taps out.
GG. That's Karen for you right there. Screw up once and the game's instantly over. But we can't all be Protoss, you know?
Can't all be Protoss? Oh, okay. To be fair, you know, if you let Zerglings in Protoss versus Zerg, you know, early on, if they run past your block,
it's a nightmare too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like basically over as well. So.
All right, so we all agree that Zerg is the problem then.
Zerg is the problem. You know, I no comment on that. Alright, so we do have another turn versus Zerg. It will be McSmush. And what color would you say this is?
McSmush is pink.
Pink. Okay, so pink in the bottom right. I guess that's like light blue. Bojack?
Yeah, light blue.
The top left.
I recognize pink because I play magenta all the time, and every time someone calls me pink, it offends me. Okay, I'm not pink, I'm magenta.
Magenta, that's right. I don't think you can play pink, right? If you select magenta, the other, because I know some colors when you select them, they automatically
disable some.
Yeah.
I don't think it disables pink. I actually don't think magenta disables anything, which is unfortunate because purple units, like if you're playing Protoss and you have a purple Protoss and you're magenta, I actually could never tell which units are mine.
Yeah, I got to shift tab at that point, right?
I refuse.
You refuse to shift tab?
I hate shift tab.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I have good reasons for it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I actually hate like what was it? Was it like is it tab that like gets rid of the terrain on the minimap and then?
I don't even know why that exists. Is there anybody on the planet that plays with tab?
Yes, there is. I was gonna mention that. I've seen several players play like that, and I
don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, why wouldn't you want to see the terrain, right? Why wouldn't you want to see the features on the map?
Yeah, it gives. I like have a stroke. Anytime I like hit tab and I look down at the minimap, it drives me insane.
Yeah. Bojack going for that 12 hatch. Again, he seems to favor that 12 hatch play, which is completely fine. Super standard. McSmush also going for super standard build. 11 racks. Workers gonna greet each other as they pass each other on the map. So we see spawning pool and gas coming down from Bojack. Again, super standard. Not like an 8 racks or anything like that we saw from last game. I think McSmush is going to go for the 15 command center. Yeah, he definitely is. Gets a good read on what the Zerg is doing. Oh, he's gonna wait on the ramp, or he's just... Yeah, okay, I think... Just waiting up, I think, a bit for that Marine to come out. He was just trying to, like, deny some scouting from Bojack. Which is well done.
Ironically, it kind of defeats the purpose of the 15cc over dropping it over 500 minerals, though. But
yeah,
I like the idea.
Yeah, it does kind of defeat the purpose. I guess if you did go for gas though, and you had like an SCV down here, like you were going for some kind of factory build, it would be worth it. You can kind of like mind game the Zerg, right? But then the Zerg's Overlord would see right away that you haven't built a command center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a pretty early second barracks, right? You never really see this. We also have a chance to catch this Overlord. Oh, he doesn't see it. It's just outside of vision. A little bit unlucky. But second barracks is quick. This is abnormal, correct?
This second barracks, this feels like it's a stim timing to me. And just as I say stim timing, the academy is being built along with the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a bit early. McSmush definitely cut to get this down. But I have seen stim timings like done like this, so Bojack playing he's going 2 base, quick lair. This game, so it might be 2 hatch Metalisk or 2.5 hatch if he chooses, but we don't.
So the stim timing, I think Wolfix tried to teach me a little bit about this, and I kind of vaguely caught onto it. But yeah, you basically cut workers and cut production to get your like gas second barracks academy, and this is a response to like a really quick lair, right?
Yeah,
I think that's kind of how it was taught to me. I think it's like when you see something from Zerg, whether it be like a really quick lair or something like that, they're going to be playing like relatively low eco, low Zerg count, or low lane count. You're going to have a stim timing with like 1 fire bat, 1 medic kind of a thing. And it's going to like force sunkens and stuff like that, which could do a ton of damage in and of itself.
Yeah, that is one of the cases you can do the stim timing in. But I just wanted to point out you don't actually have to cut that many workers. Like maybe like I think McSmush cut a lot of workers for this. But he does have 9 Marines though, and 2 more. Actually, he's got 11 Marines and 2 medics moving across the map. So this is a huge stim timing. Creep colony's not even completed yet. This might just end like Bojack, to be honest with you. He's got 6
Zerglings. It's gonna be
Zerglings.
kind of close. Even just these 2 sunkens wouldn't be enough if this is all going in together. And yeah, he's gonna get on top of this before the sunkens are even done, potentially. Don't want to chase the links too much. I mean, good of Bojack to use that to kind of buy extra time, using the links to cut off reinforcements a little bit. But the Marines are gonna get in here, they're gonna kill that first sunkens, they're gonna start shaving off these lings. And I think we're just barely not going to break through this with the extra lings coming in here. But even then, like, we forced a fair amount of lings, and we forced 2 sunkens. The only thing is our SCV production did not resume very well behind us, so we don't have, I feel, as much of a lead as we could from that.
Yeah, I think McSmush, the stim timing was really strong from him. But the problem is he chased the Zerglings a little like too much. If he got like right on the sunken colonies, he would have definitely 100% won at that point. And now with the Zergling counterattack as well, if he can get any of these Marines, it's already super helpful. Because the Mutalists should be on the way. Yeah, the Mutalists are already on the way.
Mutas are on the way. We killed that turret there and killed a couple Marines, so there's a decent window potentially for the Mutas to get some harassment in here.
Yeah, only 4 Mutalists now. 2 more on the way.
Yeah, that was kind of the only thing that I feel like did work out in McSmush's favor, is it did hiccup the kind of Muta timing a bit there for Bojack. He didn't have the Lord of Sate for the Muta that he would have wanted to have because he had to make all those extra lings.
Right. I would still say that Bojack is actually ahead of McSmush.
I think so too.
Yeah, at this stage though. 3rd already down for Bojack as well. Extractor on the way. And is there any more further tech? Yeah, McSmush, he should be getting his factory down right now though. It is already like 7 minutes. He should be starting that. Mutalisk coming into the main, getting on top of those turrets. McSmush he's not even gonna contest that. He's just gonna go right across the map.
Yeah, just not wanting to deal with this Muta harassment at all. It looks like it's going to work. Bojack's going to pull back here and fly. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we're going to try to get back to the natural, but there's a 3rd turret coming up here now. Seems like Bojack being a little bit indecisive. This counter actually only going to the 3rd base really makes me wish Bojack had stayed on top of McSmush. Because that third base really isn't that expendable, but obviously he didn't know that, right? He thought it was coming straight towards his natural, and that would have been pretty devastating because he only has one sunken that was basically dead already.
Yeah, for sure, I agree, 100%. You know, attack is the best defense, right? So definitely forcing those meterless back, giving McSmush time, not only to kill the third, but to make more turrets in the natural. And this is good defense from McSmush, warding away those meterless. So now Bojack back on 2 bases. He does have Queen's Nest down though, no like Hydra's Den or anything, so this kind of makes me feel like maybe this could be Guardian. Okay, we got a huge...
the ideal third base for Zerg in this matchup. I think this is a good third base for him, yeah, because that ramp is the only entrance, right?
We have a small group of Medic Marine in front of Bojack's base, and he looks like he's just... Okay, I thought when he stimmed he was going to try to go for the natural, but I think he's just going to kill these Overlords, which will supply block Bojack, so good on him.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little bit grim for Bojack here, actually. Our drone count's looking really, really low.
Yeah, and I don't see like the Hive started as well, so if he's going to go like Guardian, you got to make the Hive ASAP. It looks like he's concentrating just on hitting McSmush's natural. He has knocked down all the turrets, but still a decent amount of Medic Marine there, and the meterless are super bruised, right? Ooh, losing a ton of them.
Off a few minutes there, and yeah, we're just gonna quit. We've had enough of this.
Yeah, I don't blame Bojack. McSmush definitely in a good position after taking out that third. Okay, I think only 2 more replays. So this one, the next one will be McSmush versus Fonger. I think it's a Protoss versus Terran. As McSmush, yeah, he will be playing Protoss against the Terran, right, to avoid a mirror matchup.
It's good. I like PBT. I'm not very good at it, but I like it. Ugh.
You're a great Protoss versus Terran player, man. You're a great Protoss player. Yeah, so top left, yellow Protoss, McSmush. We've seen his Terran play, now we get to see his Protoss play. And if his Protoss play is anything like his Terran play, he's definitely will be a good, really strong player to play against. We've also seen Fonger play Terran. Definitely not a bad Terran himself as well. So I'm excited to see what both players will bring to the table in this match.
Yeah, Fonger likes to do some like weird timings in this matchup too. I'm curious to see if we'll see any of his unique builds this round.
Looks like McSmush is gonna go for that gas steal. Pylon Scout already on his way down to the red Terran player. Nothing crazy out of Fonger. Super standard 9 supply.
Actually, something I want to correct that I said earlier, that's a little bit wrong. I said you could do the scout off of the gateway to take the gas, but that's only if you're doing like the aggressive, like really far forward pylon. Yeah, if you want a gas steal, you do want to typically do a pylon scout, but it was a non-forward pylon, so Fonger, who cut his workers to get the gas, is actually going to block the gas steal because of that. Yeah, if you do the gas steal on this map, because a lot of Terrans do try to block it, and they will cut that SCV, is you typically want to do your pylon pretty far forward, like where Arcane was putting it, so you can get the gas steal before they could get their gas. When you do it this way, it doesn't feel too good as toss, like because you do cut a worker to have the gas, plus you're doing the really early scout, so you lose the mining time. So you're a little bit far behind. I wouldn't say far behind, but you're a tiny bit behind if you go across and they do actually take this early gas. Whereas if you don't do, like, make those cuts for the gas steal and they take an 11 gas like this, or 10 gas I think it was, then it's actually not so good for Terran eco-wise. It's all like little things, but you know, the little things do add up in the long run.
Yeah, definitely in this game, any kind of advantage you can get even like mineral boosting at the very beginning, it does add up. It's huge, right? So any way to get a little bit of an advantage, definitely should take it. Look at this Sim City from Fonger, so good. The barracks, factory, refinery placement.
Yeah, this is very anti-zealot.
Yeah, but Fonger does have a SCV in McSmush's base. He should know that this is not any kind of zealot rush. He sees the core, right, and he sees it's spinning, so he knows should be safe. I like this marine scout though from Fonger on the bottom. You know, just checking if there's any like proxy, proxy pylon or any kind of tech like that down there.
Yeah, just no shenanigans going on.
And McSmush doing the same though, following that SCV all the way down there. Can you imagine if another like factory's proxied right there? Like when you move across the map, a vulture comes in your base.
Right. Yeah, that'd be awful. One thing Switch is doing, and I know I'm being a little bit nitpicky, but this is, like I said, I kind of think about things from a teaching standpoint. First of all, we cut workers. We should be at 23 workers right now, or 23 supply. And you're going to take your Nexus at 23. You don't need this forward pylon here, but we're doing a 21 Nexus with the extra pylon. So this pylon is just kind of wasted optimization, right? So we're going to have a much later Nexus than we would have liked. And our pro production is going to be a little bit down. It's just like little things that can't add up. That being said, it looks like we're getting an FD out of Fonger here, which is kind of a relatively, like, if they do take that early gas, you can end up with an FD or strong FD, I think it's called, if you take it like 10 gas or 11 gas. I think the gas timing kind of decides on the name of it, but yeah, so we're going to get this FD push from Fonger. And the two goons are going to come across right as range is finishing. They're going to bump into this. Hopefully we're paying attention, but we are not. So we're going to take some hull damage on that dragoon right away, which is really, really painful. Because what you want to do against this push is you need these goons to be chipping away at the Marines as they separate from the tank. Anytime the tank is getting shots off, then it's really not that good for you. So like as you can see, the tank is going to be staying with the Marines and getting these shots off. First dragoon goes down, second dragoon is very, very low. But yeah, the way you need to micro this as toss is you need to play distant and then pick the Marines as they walk too far ahead of the tanks. And it kind of forces the turn to slow down, and it can give you the extra like 1 or 2 goons to hold off this push a bit easier.
This looks
that being said, it is very hard to hold this push. It's very like micro intensive, and you can't really make a whole lot of mistakes with your dragoons here. But all the dragoons are going to go down. Shield battery's going to get cancelled. Nexus finishes, but yeah, we're in a little bit of trouble here. We do have 2 gates, so we can potentially hold this without losing the Nexus. The extra tank comes in, and the vultures here with mines as well. We have no robotics behind this.
Yeah, that dragoon picked off. Yeah, with the spider mine upgrade as well, so Fonger definitely, if he lays those mines, you know, he's definitely in a commanding position. Third gate going down from McSmush. Ooh, I don't know if I like this. I think like robotics would have more utility, right?
I think so too, yeah.
I actually think that this build coming out from Fonger, because I did see him go like a 10 supply, 10 barracks, and he got his like refinery on 10. I think it's a 10-10 build actually, since he went with 2 tanks and then Vulture. He just didn't wait for all the units to come out, right? He just attacked early, which obviously worked out for him.
Yeah, like I was saying, he's so aggressive in this matchup, I feel like. Like, every time I played against Fonger, it's just a matter of dealing with, like, whatever nonsense he throws at me in the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
but he's very well versed in it. And it's kind of good for him on this map, because he does take this early gas anyway, so it kind of already blocks the gas stealing. And then he can go for this push quite often anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna like say, like, do you think that this might be a little bit of an overextension? Because he did lose that tank by going up, but oh well, you know what? I take that back. McSmush is basically...
yeah, I'd call it an unnecessary risk, but obviously it's going to be fine either way in this case, but you do have the potential of walking up there and losing your tanks. Like, you've already won the game if you just secure that front anyway, because your CC finishes as you're killing the Nexus, right?
Right.
But it's going to be fine, it's going to work out either way here.
Yeah, and
I guess we did cancel the third gate and make a robo as well, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that's good on McSmush, right, to kind of realize that. But Vulture's now in the mineral line. Ooh, that was a really good pro pull, but he's getting so many kills. 8 kills, 6 kills. Oh, I don't know how like McSmush can recover from this. I think it's over, right? Because Fonger, 33 SCVs to 6 probes on 2 bases.
Yeah. the Vulture even killing that last again.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's
7 probes to 35 SCVs. I don't think I've ever seen a comeback from Protoss. You know,
yeah. This isn't StarCraft 2, and Protoss doesn't have mules, so it's not winnable.
yeah, and like I was thinking, like maybe if McSmush had Dark Templar tech, but Fonger already does have like turrets and mines, right?
Yeah, he's got all of his bases covered here.
Yeah, so this is situation critical for McSmush. He's like, there's got to be a miracle for him to be able to come back in this game. To be honest, at this point.
All right, I say this, and this isn't me being mean. Okay, I just find it funny. I feel like not GGing here is because it's a Terran player playing Protoss, and he's looking at this and he's like, I'm pretty sure I've lost to Protosses in this position before.
Right. Well, yeah. As a Terran, well, he does GG out now, but it does feel like that for sure. Sometimes as a Terran player, it feels like Protoss can come back from anything.
Yeah,
So,
I've experienced it a few times already now.
yeah.
Where it just seems like I can't possibly lose, and then one thing goes wrong, or they just have way more units than you feel like it should be possible. Now that I'm playing Terran, I get it, guys. I'm on your side.
You're on the Terran side. Don't they say Terran players whine the most?
Yeah,
That's true,
I guess
right?
that's like the one thing I'm doing wrong. I haven't started whining enough yet, but I'm working on it.
No, that's your Zen Protoss mindset.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay, this is the last game of this week, and it will be Kraazy versus McSmush. Kraazy as the green Terran on the top left. As we've seen before, a really strong Terran player. McSmush as the yellow Protoss on the bottom right.
Yeah, we'll see if McSmush can get the gas steal this time. He'll probably do the same kind of pylon placement, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. See how the early game goes. It seems like the Protosses that we've seen today just haven't quite got the early game of Dark Origin figured out. Like it's like they know they're supposed to do something, but they don't quite know how to execute it or what the follow-up is.
Yeah, all the Protosses, they favor like early, like yeah, you can see like McSmush coming across the map right now. They favor gas steal, but it feels like they just couldn't like kind of carry forward after stealing the gas or after failing to steal the gas. If that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like the follow-up, that's the word for it.
Right.
But yeah, let's see if McSmush can get that gas down before Kraazy caps it. I think he will though, because Kraazy, he's not doing like a 10-10 or anything, because he's got another SCV queued up ready. If he had cancelled that SCV, technically you can get the gas and the barracks at the same time. Then you're kind of like stuck in a 10-10 kind of build. So gas will be stolen.
We saw him when he played against Arcane, he just kind of accepted it as well there. Was it Arcane? Did Arcane get the gas? Yeah, he did, right? Or no, that was McSmush that got gas stolen.
Yeah, it was McSmush, I think.
Did Arcane get it against Kraazy or no?
Oh, I can't even remember.
I don't remember anymore. Yeah.
I know he did. I'm pretty sure it was against Kraazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Kraazy, he went for like that natural expansion, and he like almost got busted by the Dragoons, right? And it was because
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Man, look at his pro control, man. Really gunning for that SCV. That particle beam, man. 5 damage. Don't knock that, you know, with 1 range. Definitely doing a lot of.
Yeah, it's the range that makes it so rough for Terran. And just annoying. So we are actually making a Zealot. So this is the first game out of all the gas steals and attempted gas steals. This is the first game where we actually have a Zealot follow up to the gas steal.
Right, and
we
the
made it, boys.
Core is going down on 16 supply, right? So they're very standard. Like the correct follow up, would you say?
It can be like usually you would see a couple extra Zealots, and you kind of delay the core a little bit longer because you don't have to worry about vultures for a while, so you don't need goons like super early. You're just looking for Zealots to kind of make life a little bit miserable. And also the second Zealot being out a little bit quicker does prevent this eBay block as well. We'll see. I mean, it's gonna be 3 Marines out and a 4th like nearly done by the time the Zealot gets up here. So proper micro, like Kraazy's not gonna be under any pressure. This is part of the downside to having the gateway so far back in your base here. Is this first Zealot really isn't gonna be able to get much damage done. And yeah, as you can see, like decent pulling here. Not really forward stepping with the Zealots. We're gonna lose the Zealot and not even kill a Marine. Just a couple swipes of 2 different Marines here. And we actually did not jump on top of this E-base, so we're gonna have a really, really late Nexus now.
Look at the top. Look at the very top. McSmush doing the classic.
Oh.
The classic proxy DT tech.
That's what was happening. I just looked at it and was like, where's that gas at? It makes sense now. And even researching air weapons to fake the goon range. I really, really like this.
Yeah, maximum like deception from our Protoss player.
A Terran player truly embracing what it means to be a Protoss player. Thing is, we don't have a Dragoon popping out yet. So if Kraazy's paying a little bit of attention, this is kind of odd that we still don't have a Goon yet.
Yeah, that was
But
the one.
It's kind of a small thing, and it's a little bit hard to notice in this situation.
Yeah, that definitely was the one thing I was gonna mention, right? I mean, you got to be a little bit suspicious. Like, where's all that money going, right? Oh,
Well, there's 2 things. There's 2 big red flags right now. So there's the Dragoon never popped out, and we didn't see a 3rd pylon. There should be a 3rd pylon right now because we had 2 Zealots out. And just there was no Nexus and no 3rd pylon and unit production stop. So there's definitely a couple red flags that Kraazy saw but may not have identified.
Yeah, for sure. Kraazy might think that he's safe though, because I think as his engineering bay died, McSmush put down the Nexus right away. So he, like, if he failed to notice the other things that you were talking about, like the pylons, he might think, oh, okay, he was just waiting for my engineering bay to go down, right? So, and no engineering bay, like no for McSmush.
This makes me sick. This is why I hate Protoss players too, man. This is gonna work.
You shouldn't say that, man. A win's a win, right? Like, don't hate the player, man. Hate the game.
I hate the race.
Can't stop
in the least
this.
racist possible way.
Can't stop this high IQ play right here. Oh, he's not waiting for. I guess he's waiting for more DTs.
The DT, are we? Let's go.
Can't wait too long though. The engineering bay is on the way.
Yeah, like if you wait too long, the E-bay comes no matter what, right? So there's no reason to actually hold it at this point. The only thought maybe would be that if turrets were already out, then you can kind of get the surprise dive on top of the turrets.
Right, but
so it does wait for 2.
But the fact that like McSmush like proxied it on the 12 o'clock, there shouldn't even be a turret there. If there's a turret in the front, right? So you should have gone right away, I feel. But
here's the best part about it: the DT that walked through the front was good enough anyway. But just in case, we got the 2 DT coming from the back door as well.
yeah, Kraazy. He must be sweating like really, really hard right now. I mean, I know that I am. Whenever I like have no turrets, it's just like panic.
This is a punch your keyboard moment.
Yeah, panic is setting in right now. Oh, look, he's gonna get that turret up in the natural though. This is actually like huge because if he picks off that 1 DT,
he gets the turret up, but we don't have a main base anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how he can recover. I mean, he's got to start an academy right away, right?
Yeah, I'd like to have seen like an academy in the natural like at the same time as the turrets were coming down, but even then, like you got DTs like trickling in from behind your base. It's just kind of miserable.
Yeah, no spider mines as well. The spider mine research being deleted by these Dark Templars, and I think we're just waiting for the end. Like, you know, theoretically, Kraazy could stabilize in his natural, but then he'd be so far behind. McSmush could take like 4 bases right now before like
it's
Kraazy.
like little things. Like you see how the turret could spot the DTs coming from the top side. He could actually like leapfrog a DT like or a turret from the right, like towards his ramp there, and it would actually be able to spot both ramps. And he could sit on the ramp and like work on academy and like stop the trinkle. Like there are little things that we could actually do to potentially stabilize. But it's a tough situation, obviously, and even then, like if you do survive, you do you really even want to keep playing from that position? Like, it's so difficult for Terran.
Oh yeah, you'd be like mega behind, right? Definitely be
Yeah.
against the ropes. Yeah. All right. Thanks for casting with me, Azhi. That's actually all we have today. So that was the week 2, I think, Group 45 for preseason. Thanks everyone for watching. And yeah, hope everybody will. If you do play StarCraft and you haven't joined the CPL yet, definitely join the CPL. It's a great place to learn how to play StarCraft. So, do you have anything to add to that, Ozzy?
No, I agree. If you enjoyed the cast, then feel free to follow the FirstLaw. I got his thing pinned on my Twitch stream. He does do casting, and there's like casting done for CPL pretty much all around. So I will try to keep you guys updated on when casting is going down. If you guys are, like you said, interested in playing, you guys are more than welcome to join the league. I think, well, signups are going to be done for this season, but you can follow and watch and that kind of thing. But basically what CPL is, guys, for those of you that are new here, it's stands for Coach-Pupil League. It's just for a lot of like new players that want to improve their game, or even like somewhat veteran players or long-term players, whatever. It's an environment for improving your 1v1 game. You'll be put on teams based on like your skill level and stuff, and you get coaches and everything like that. And this is a really positive, healthy environment for learning the game. So if you guys are ever interested in 1v1s, it's a great place to learn.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.